this is the way I expect the Supreme Court. So, do you remember the old show The West Wing?
Yeah, I think I watched a few of it. Yeah,
There was
not
an
much.
episode where they had to replace two of the Supreme Court justices. And so they pick one conservative and one liberal, and they put them on there. But the whole episode, they were getting, all these people were yelling politics about left versus right and all that kind of stuff. And then when the actors who were playing the Supreme Court justices got together, they were arguing law. They weren't arguing left and right. They were arguing
Yeah,
law, right? And
yeah,
so that to me is what we expect, right? So
yeah,
this is why I have a problem with some of the people on the Supreme Court who don't appear to understand that they need to appear independent. They need to uphold certain values amongst themselves that make me not question whether or not they're actually of this caliber of person.
yeah.
And so I do have some problems with the people on some of the people on the Supreme Court. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, they could say that's not the federal government's job to do that. State government, that's within your ballywhack. And the state government can then say, you know what, we don't want to handle this at the state level. You can handle it at the county level.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
yeah.
it can go all the way down, technically.
I just thought it was so interesting, just the argument, his logic, and my whole point with this is that I just it's so compelling when you have a well thought through, well presented, non emotional
But
argument.
but I guess so. What would be the argument that it is a federal issue? So if you're harping on the baby aspect of it, then it's a being that deserves due process by the Constitution, right?
Well, to do that deserves, yeah, through the Constitution says you have to do due process, right? You
Right.
can't
So
take
that
away their rights
is
without due
so then
process.
if you harp on the other side, which is that if you harp on the other side, which is that the woman's right to control her body and what happens to it is paramount, that actually becomes a it's not a human right. It's a U.S. whatever resident's right to do that. Then the question is, are you going to say that the state has to make that decision? Because that seems to be more about that means in some states you're treated differently than in others on something about your rights to your body.
Yeah, of
Do we
course,
allow
yeah.
that? Do we allow that anywhere else in any other rights to our body? I guess we do. Some states allow suicide. Some states don't.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it's kind of a
No,
what you
no,
can do.
but some states have legal assisted suicide and some states
Oh
don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So yeah, I guess we do. We do have a precedent of an individual's right varying from state to state.
Yeah, right.
So
Right,
that's an
right.
argument to allow the states to decide.